One of the biggest side effects of using or abusing inheritance is tight coupling. When you make a change in the base class, it can ripple throughout the entire hierarchy. Derived classes don't have a choice whether to accept the change or not. And as a result, the system becomes more fragile. To avoid this, you have to be really careful when you design the hierarchy in the first place and when you make any changes later. Another issue with inheritance is that its emphasis on is-a relationships limits its flexibility. Basically, inheritance is appropriate for only a small subset of real-world scenarios. One more problem with inheritance is that often its unsuitability becomes apparent only when it's too late. It's pretty easy to start using inheritance in your system, only to later realize that this was a mistake. Even understanding deep hierarchies of classes results in a lot of overhead. Finally, there's the single inheritance principle, and it can make inheritance not a good choice in a lot of cases. Many programming languages, including Swift, don't allow multiple inheritance. It's when a class derives from more than one superclass. In practice, you must decide from the start which base class your object will inherit from, and changing your mind later is rarely an option. Now compare this to protocols. Because they don't contain the actual implementation, nothing stops you from declaring the same method in two different protocols. Your object can conform to both of them, and the compiler will ask you to implement the overlapping requirement only once.